We are back on Morning Line, our final segment today with Tim Takacs, elder care attorney extraordinaire, and at 737-7587 is the number if you have a question this morning on any number of issues. Another thing I'm often asked about, Tim, and I always reference, I learned it from Tim Takacs, is the whole question, and this is something everyone needs, whether you're older, younger, or not, for yourself or someone else, you need to have a power of attorney set up. And for a lot of folks, they think, oh, look, trust me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Why? First, again, for folks, what is the power of attorney? I know there's medical and financial, and why is that important? Right. Why is that important?
Okay, yeah, and you've heard me say that before. I say is, anytime somebody turns an adult, becomes an adult, at age 18 or 21 or whatever it is, they should sit down or have somebody sit them down and say, look, you need to designate somebody to make legal and financial decisions for you.
Yes.
If you're not able to do that yourself. And so, somebody that would maybe if you can't do your banking, someone would be able to do your banking, would be able to do, sign contracts for you or whatever it is. And that's just one of those things in life that everybody that has anything at all, should be thinking about, that they designate somebody or appoint somebody. And as you mentioned, the term durable power of attorney distinguishes the instrument from the so-called general or power of attorney, which under common law the power to act would expire, when the person became disabled or incapacitated. Well, of course, that's why we want, that's exactly why we want to have a power of attorney in place, that if you become disabled or incapacitated, then somebody can step in for you. Often it's a spouse, it's children, those sorts of things. So we want to make sure that people get that done. And as you mentioned, there are certain things that we want people to have in those instruments, the documents. Certainly we want the durability language, so that it means that when the person does become disabled or incapacitated, then the instrument remains durable, so to speak, so it's still in existence. But we want people to avoid what is called a springing power of attorney, because there are some people who will say, well, I'm fine now, I don't want to name somebody if that can take advantage of me, because when I become disabled or incapacitated, so I don't want this document they'll say I don't want this document to come into effect, until a doctor says I need, that I'm disabled or incapacitated. Well, all you're doing there is you're putting up a roadblock for a person to be able to manage your affairs. Well, of course, and needless to say, what we really tell people is, if you don't trust them to make your decisions for you when you are disabled or incapacitated, don't even name them at all if you're worried about somebody taking advantage of you. It's just one of those things that, don't make it hard on the people that are trying to make, the people that care for you, don't make it hard on them, to make sure that you can get the care that you need.
Yeah. And
is really what we're doing.
And you can roll both into one, right? Financial and medical into one kind of.
You can. Usually, the thing about it in Tennessee, you can go online and you can go to the Tennessee Department of Health, and they actually have a healthcare power of attorney document that you can download. You can be, certainly for the healthcare, you can be as general or as specific as you want. Like, for instance, we have people that come in with the Department of Healthcare document or Department of Health document from the state of Tennessee, that says, well, I want this or I don't want this or whatever it is. We usually tell people that we would prefer that they just name somebody that knows what their wishes are.
Okay.
Rather than try to avoid too much specificity, because you don't want the document to be misinterpreted as a do not treat request or something along those lines. So,
okay.
Now for instance, my document, the power of attorney, the healthcare power of attorney I've named my wife as my healthcare agent, and it's very non-specific as to what I want, what I don't want. Basically, what I want is, for the healthcare community to go to my wife and say, okay, Tim can't make a healthcare decision. What should we do? That's what we want.
Good advice. Tim, I wanted to ask you this as we bounce around. Coming out of the COVID pandemic, I think it changed some attitudes. And I wonder, in your experience with folks that you've seen, one way or the other, when it comes to Social Security, I sense there's a trend among some of that age to start collecting it, that they're choosing to take it earlier. As you know, if you wait till you reach full retirement age, you get more. But more people are looking at the difference there and saying, you know what? Nothing's promised forever. I'm taking my Social Security early, the earliest I can take it now. And I'm just curious, the decision-making process you think folks should go through and what you've seen. Are you seeing that happening a bit more than in the past? It seemed like most, if they were healthy, thought, I'm going to wait. But now I see more taking it early.
I think you're right. I think there are people that are taking it earlier. As you mentioned, is that we, many of us, or most of us, we're during our working age, we pay into the system, and needless to say, we would like for there to be something for us, when we retire or when we or even not retire. I mean, I'm of the age, I've actually reached full retirement age. At my full retirement age is 66 years and 2 months, so I'm past that. So I could take Social Security if I wanted to, but I've chosen not to because I'm still working. Now, it may be somewhere down the road I might say, maybe I should just start taking it because I don't necessarily need it, fortunately, but at the same time, I would like to make sure that I have it.
Well, let me ask you this, Tim.
Because I could drop dead when I'm 69 and never collect anything. But
just so I'm clear on this, let me ask you. I mean, you are full retirement age. Why aren't you allowed to, now that you're full retirement age, can't you take your Social Security and keep working? Why wouldn't you take it if you have it coming to you now? I mean, what's the advantage of not taking it right now?
Because if I wait until I'm age 70 or 71 or whatever that number is, I can take more out.
And you'll get more. Okay, meaning that you'll get more. Okay,
I will get more,
it continues to grow. So, all right, I figured.
Exactly, it continues. Yes, that's it.
But you are of age now where you can take it. Would that, if you took it now, you would be, is it full retirement or is it early for you? It would be early.
No, it would be a full, it's called FRA, full retirement age. If you take it before then, then it becomes taxable.
Okay.
There's some tax issues there, so.
All right.
But I could just, if I chose to, take it now, but since I would prefer to wait and, since I don't really, fortunately, I don't need the income.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
So I could wait until.
So, and that's your decision-making process. What would you say if you had some clients come in and ask you, Tim, what questions would you ask them if they say, Tim, I'm of age where I can take it early. What considerations should I think about when I decide whether I should do that or not?
One of the things I want to know is, as I mentioned, is do you need the money? Do you need the income? Is it important for you to have it for whatever reason? Second would be is that do you have any chronic illnesses that might basically mean that if you don't take it now, you'll never get it. So if you're going to drop dead at 69, why wait until you're 60? Why wait?
Sure.
So and then you also have to think about the impact of that on your spouse or dependents if you take that.
Gotcha.
If you start taking it out.
The other part of it,
those are the kind of things that you want to look at.
You probably don't have many clients like this because, I think money is well spent when you go to an attorney for sure, and that's how Tim makes a living. But there are many Americans, for whatever reason, no choice of their own, maybe they didn't think about it, hard times have hit them, or maybe they were just wasteful with spending, that now at an advanced age are living exclusively on Social Security, which was never the purpose of Social Security. And if you are among the viewers out there living on Social Security, you know how tight that is if that's all you have.
It is.
Am I right about that? I mean, Social Security hopefully
right.
is a supplement to anything else you were maybe able to save over your career.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think you hit it exactly right, Nick. Is that if you look at the numbers, maybe 50% maybe of our older population, would not, maybe have less than $10,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, it just not has proven out for a lot of our older Americans, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and so when you're living exclusively on Social Security, it makes it very, very difficult. So hopefully, folks who do come in, though, you are looking at a portfolio. We're not talking about millionaires all the time, but folks who have 401ks, maybe some property, the Social Security gets figured into that. That's kind of the way it plays out, right? Hopefully for folks.
Right. Exactly. And, and I think you hit it right, sort of exactly right. We don't see a lot of, our clients aren't, they're not typically $5 million, $10 million estates or whatever it is. They're, significantly less than that. I think, maybe as you mentioned, they own a house, maybe have maybe a couple $100,000 in the bank, maybe Social Security. A lot of them don't have anything, excuse me, they don't have anything other than Social Security. But they have a house and they have a little bit of money in the bank and they want to figure out how to make it last and have a good life as they age.
Exactly.
That's what we're helping them with.
That's why what you do, I think, has got to be such a satisfying part of your job. We just have a couple minutes remaining, Tim. If you would, remind folks again where you're located and what happens if they're thinking about securing an elder law attorney to help them with their estate moving forward. Can they make the call and the process? I know the phone call is free initially. How do you go about doing it and set it up? And remember, for a lot of these folks, everyone maybe is on a budget. There can be, based on the size of the estate, the fee involved can range. It's not going to break you, and in the long run, you would argue, I know, that it will save you money and give you peace of mind.
That's the idea, and certainly, our as you mentioned, our office is in Hendersonville, and it's been there for many, many years, as you know. I have there's three of us now, three attorneys there. We've kind of staggered it out, so I'm the oldest, and then Barbara is 10 years younger than I am, and Chris is 10 years younger than Barbara is. So we've kind of got that set up that way. We work with clients who, from age 50 to 100. It basically, it's a phone call to the office and say, I saw Tim or I saw one of the lawyers on MorningLine or MorningLine, and I'd like to have a consult. And then you talk to one of our intake persons and say, we'll ask you some questions about what you're worried about, what kind of planning that you have. And of course, inevitably, as you mentioned, the discussion of, well, how much is this going to cost? We do have we do charge for a initial consultation, and that typically is $350 to $450, depending upon what you're coming in to talk to us about. And there's no obligation after that. We'll tell you what we do and how we do it, and talk to you about what you're worried about. And we'll quote you and say, for us to do the work that we do, or tell you about the work that we will do, we do it all on a fixed fee or a flat fee basis. Okay, Tim, listen, I give everyone my best. Tell Chris and Babs I said hi. I will. And we'll put up your contact information in our last block here. And hey, it's just good seeing you, my friend. You take care of yourself. Thank you. All right. Great to see you, Dick. Take care, Chris. All right, take care. Take care. Bye-bye, Tim. We'll take a break, and we'll come right back. I'm going to have his contact information right after this. Stay with us.